Road Trips, Chicken Parmesan, and Handcuffs by Adriana in the Snow. Chapter 5. Why am I stuck with the couch? Remus whined as obnoxiously as he possibly could. He was currently still handcuffed as he reclined on the cabin's old couch. It was, admittedly, a very comfortable couch with plush cushions and a soft fabric covering it, but Remus still planned to complain as loudly as possible about the sleeping arrangements. Honestly, Logan asked, dropping a pillow on his face and cutting off Remus's vision entirely for a moment. The pillow smelled of lavender laundry detergent, and Remus imagined the pillowcase he'd just watched Logan put on it was recently washed. Remus sat up slightly so the pillow rolled down onto his stomach, allowing him to see once more. It was just Remus and Logan in the living room. Remus could still hear the shower running in the bathroom down the hall. Virgil had asked to take a shower since he'd been kidnapped straight from work and claimed to smell like grease. Remus didn't really need a shower, but he'd still asked for one. He'd been denied when he'd asked to be out of the cuffs to take one. He'd been double denied when he'd suggested he stay in the cuffs and Logan help him to get clean. Even though he didn't get a chance to escape, he did get a chance to see one of Logan's seemingly unamused, very amused glares. So the request had still been worth it. Yeah, honestly, Remus replied to Logan's question, while struggling to position the pillow behind his head with his hands still cuffed together. There are only 2 beds, so someone had to sleep on the couch. Considering I know for a fact you would immediately start making sexual innuendos if I handcuffed you to a bed, you deserve the couch. So I'm being punished for a crime I haven't even committed? Remus whined, outraged. Yes, Logan said simply, one eyebrow raised. I could make sexual innuendos about you handcuffing me to a couch, Remus pointed out. I'm not handcuffing you to the couch, Logan pointed out, while walking over to the wall where a chain was waiting. I'm handcuffing you to 2 chains attached to opposite walls. You would immediately escape if I handcuffed you to only the couch and left you alone for more than half of a second. Logan was, of course, correct. If you're worried about leaving me alone, we could share a bed, Remus suggested, waggling his eyebrows, as Logan hooked the chain he'd just brought over to Remus's handcuffed hands. He'd been kind enough to handcuff them in front of Remus for the night. You could sleep on the floor, Logan returned with a bland expression. Well, that wouldn't do. Just chain me to the foot of your bed, give me a collar, and call me Puppy. Logan's nose scrunched up in an expression somewhere between amusement and disgust. Do you ever stop? Not sure, babe, Remus said with a wink. You want to find out? This is why you're sleeping on the couch, Logan said with a shake of his head, moving to grab the chain attached to the opposite wall. Please, Remus said with his best begging face when Logan came over to him holding to the chain. No. His handcuffs were then attached to that chain as well, giving Remus about a foot of slack in the chains. You could at least have left the lamp within reach, Remus said. I'm not a fan of blunt force trauma, Logan said dryly. I just wanted to be able to read after lights out, Remus claimed, batting his eyelashes. Read by the moonlight, Logan said, not bothering to point out that Remus had no books, and Logan would probably not be giving him one for the same reason Remus wasn't allowed lamp privileges. But the moonlight can't be used as an improvised weapon, Remus said with a pout. That managed to get a laugh out of Logan. His expression gentled minutely. Would you like a glass of water? In a glass, or plastic? Darn, Remus said, but then shrugged. Yeah, sure. I'll be back in a moment. Logan ducked into the kitchen, and Remus could hear the tap running a few moments later. Remus noticed that the shower down the hall had stopped. Logan re-entered the living room with a plastic cup, which he set on the ground just in Remus's reach. Thanks, Remus said. No problem. So, Remus said, glancing up at him, how long are you keeping me? Or planning to keep me, at least? Logan raised an eyebrow at the implication that Remus would be able to escape him, the bastard, but still answered the question. I have an appointment tomorrow that I must attend. After that, I can take you home. So just a quick weekend getaway to the middle of the woods for us, Remus said. It's Wednesday. A midweek getaway, then. No wonder the trip is cheap. Though to be honest, I was assuming that had more to do with the ghastly accommodations. He shook his arms, making the chains attached to them rattle. I could take away the water, Logan said mildly. You wouldn't, though, Remus replied flippantly. Remus was rewarded with an eye roll. Logan did not move to take the water away. The bathroom door down the hall opened to let Virgil slip into the hallway with wet hair. He was wearing a hoodie he'd borrowed from Logan and his own boxers. He glanced up at them briefly and then disappeared into his room without saying a word. You should try to talk to him, Remus said once Virgil was gone. Logan didn't respond. Logan did this thing when he was nervous or unsure about something where he'd run his right thumb across the side of his right middle finger. It would travel back and forth between the first and second knuckle. It was such a subtle tell that very few people would notice it, but Remus had. Once, and exactly once, Remus had had the opportunity to touch his hand there. There was a small, almost invisible scar on that finger, a patch of slightly raised, rougher skin that could only really be noticed by touch. Currently, Logan was running his thumb across that scar while he stared forlornly at the hastily closed bedroom door. They were both so fucking stupid. Virgil's easy, Remus said. You literally just have to have one honest conversation with him and you'll be golden. It's not easy, Logan argued back. It's complicated. It wouldn't have to be if the two of you just talked, Remus said. I very much doubt he'd like to talk to me tonight. No, you don't want to talk to him, Remus argued. You don't want to face that your actions hurt him. But newsflash, not explaining why you lied is just hurting him more. Logan paused for a long moment. Sleep well, Remus, he said, before walking toward the bedroom Virgil had not gone into. He switched off the living room lights as he went. Remus sighed, staring at the ceiling as his eyes slowly adjusted to the dark. They were hopeless.